Welcome back. Colorado had its fair share of hard times in 2019, from tragedies to heated moments in our communities. News 5's Allison Zimmerman takes a look back at some of the major crime stories this year.
2019 will be marked as a tough time for the Pueblo Police Department, as officers were involved in 6 different shootings, having an impact on the department.
It's just, certain crews are be a little shorter than normal.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
And an officer-involved shooting in Colorado Springs dominated the headlines, with the death of 19-year-old Devon Bailey. Community members rallied and demanded for an independent investigation.
They take their job very seriously. They investigate it thoroughly, and they want to make sure they get to the truth of what happened in the case.
After a grand jury ruled the shooting justified in November, protests and displays have continued, including a vandalized sign outside of Colorado Springs.
It's heartbreaking for everybody.
Dozens gathered for a vigil in Pueblo after an unthinkable tragedy, where Jesse Garcia was dragged to death while trying to stop a car thief on Pueblo's east side.
We have a shooter in room 107.
And Colorado made national headlines after another school shooting in our state, this time at STEM School in Highlands Ranch, killing Kendra Castillo, who was set to graduate in a matter of days after the shooting happened.
One of the kids told me that, like a flash, he jumped up out the door and after this person.
And another national case back in the spotlight this year and coming to a close.
We did a deal with the devil.
Patrick Frazee went from accused to convicted in the murder of his ex-fiancée Kelsey Barrett, the judge handing down a sentence of life in prison.
It's pretty disgusting. It's haunting.
And this gruesome murder, Anthony Cuevas accused of murdering his own mother, Mary Garcia, and dumping some of her remains in a dumpster. He's scheduled in court next year.
At what point you are willing to tell us that it's time to move in a new direction?
There were also crimes that put communities on edge. In Pueblo, the animal shelter went through a couple of leadership changes when Paws for Life was granted control. An investigation revealed numerous violations, and they ultimately shut the shelter down.
That's going to be tough. I think it's going to be hard to recover from this.
The manager and veterinarian now face misdemeanor charges.
I looked at the building inside and I thought, God, we could have lost this.
2019 also brought news that threatened the safety of families. A white supremacist in Pueblo threatened to bomb a Jewish synagogue. The FBI caught him in time to prevent that from happening.
There is no amount of money that I can make at a job that would be worth you putting my child in a pack and play.
And families in Colorado Springs were shocked and upset to learn the woman who was caring for their children, Carla Faith, was operating illegally.
I would say don't judge until everything comes out. Don't pass judgment, because everything I ever saw, this was an absolutely wonderful woman.
Taking on more kids than she was allowed by the state, with kids hiding behind a false wall.
That was our Allison Zimmerman reporting. Of course, coming up at the end of next month, Crystal Kenny returns to Colorado for sentencing as part of the Kelsey Barrett case. She's the Idaho nurse that cleaned up the crime scene and helped Frazee discard evidence. Stay with News 5. We'll have the latest developments in that case.